3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. There's the cue for the dog. Here's today's comic. Legion of Superheroes, Millennium. Part 2 of 2. Because what we really needed was a 2-part Legion of Superheroes story before they launched Legion of Superheroes. You can't just launch the series. You got to get multiple number ones in, right? That's the way it works. That last issue number 1, is one of the worst comics I've ever read. When it comes to like AAA, mainstream titles, sorry, my phone. It was terrible. I didn't even want to do this one, but it sort of nagged at me. This cover makes me want to smack Bendis. I hate this cover so much. Not because it's necessarily a bad composed, composition of a cover or bad art. It's just like Bendis just rubbing in your face. Just look what I did to your Superboy. Oh, don't you just love it? Oh, you don't? Oh, isn't that too bad? Well, drink it in. I'm just going to keep ruining him even more. Now I got Legion of Superheroes. Wait till you see what I do next. And this book has, much like the last book, it's got a big art team. It's got 4 artists on the book because you can't just pay one guy to draw the book. And then, so if you remember what happened last time, it doesn't matter. Rose and Thorn is getting old. And she's living throughout the millenniums. And apparently she's going to live until the 31st century where the Legion is. It seems kind of obvious. And that's it. That's what this story is. And there's a bunch of little short story, little vignettes of her at different points, and then they put a different artist on. And there doesn't seem to be any connective tissue. So here we are at the Space Museum. Ooh. Welcome to the Space Museum's Hall of Heroes display. Please do not speak to the holograms. The gift shop can be found on every level. Wonder Twins merch is half off. I don't even remember that being a thing. Hi. Hello. Enjoying the exhibit? Trying to, right now actually, bye. Wow, that accent. I don't have an accent. You sound like one of those situation shows. I don't know what you're talking about. You sound just like, from a million years ago, the Apartment Kids. Chandler from the Bing Show. Chandler from Friends? Yes! Like you couldn't sound more like Chandler from Friends. That's hilarious. Why are you doing that? Excuse me? Excuse me. Ha! Karuna, you're really into the 20th century. I really was. Oh, God. Oh, save me. Save me. It's like Bendis knows. He knows what he's doing. Not knows what he's doing in a good way. Knows what he's doing in that he writes. This is what if you watch, I've done 30 plus, maybe 40 issues now of Bendis comics. And the one thing I probably say my biggest criticism of his work is that he is trying to sound like Friends. I usually will equate it to Big Bang Theory because that's a little bit more, relevant to today. The kids know. Friends was like 90s. But Friends, begat Big Bang Theory. It's all that same type of what we now call Bendis speak. Like he's kind of owned it, at least in comics. But it's when I was reading this, I was like, you're freaking kidding me. It'd be one thing if he didn't understand what he was doing and just couldn't see it in himself. But he knows he's doing it and he does it anyway. And why does Rose look like Rachel Maddow? What's going on? And why can't you talk to holograms? Is there something I don't get. So, annoying boy, who I can only presume is Booster Gold. I love the 20th century, the turn of it, 20th, 21st century, right in there. That's the good stuff. It's the stuff. I love it. The superheroes, all the world shaking. I'm Michael, by the way. Anyways, God, look at this face. So he has. Look at all these word balloons. Look at nothing is happening except there's in a museum of the 20th century, and then they're showing holograms. And look at this. Bendis is so self-impressed with himself, talking about the past. It's so ironic. Look at this talk. Oh, isn't it quaint about the past and how they had things like the World Wide Web, and they knew the world was going to die. They told each other, and they still let it happen. Idiots. But I love 20th century drama. It's just so goofy. This is just such nonsense. This is typical Bendis, like he always does, book after book. But this is like on hyperdrive. This is just him blabbing. The way I'm kind of blabbing on my videos. I kind of make fun of myself sometimes, like I'm the Bendis of YouTube videos. Except unlike Bendis, I'm nobody. He just loves to hear himself talk. At least my excuse is that when you do kind of like radio, I know this is YouTube, but it's like radio, and you're doing an audio format, you have to fill up the dead space. That's all. But in comics, you don't need to fill up the dead space with word balloons. That's not how that works. So he hits on her. I could take you to dinner. That could happen. I could take you back to the 20th century for the pizza food. And she's like, is there a time machine? Have they invented that? Actually, we could. We could go back in time. So this is still going on. And Rachel Maddow, Booster Gold, having a conversation. It's just so annoying. And it still goes. It still goes. And then we get, I could do it. I could go back in time and be a superhero. Like, could I be more of a superhero? And then finally, I don't know how many pages that's in, but let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pages of just nonsense. And then, I am OMAC. Evacuate this section of the city. I am going to destroy it. I really like this artist. He did some Justice League issues. Some cool stuff. But this is all pointless. OMAC's fighting something. Doesn't matter because, look, here's Thorn. And she makes fun of him and tells him a bunch of nonsense. It doesn't have any relevance to anything in a story. This is just like Bendis just pooping out situations. Okay. They talk about fighting. Look at how many pages this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pages of, you know what? Never mind. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Gotta get the hell out of here. She just leaves. Like, none of it mattered. She talks about his hair. It's just, it's just like, what? And then, I'm starting another private journal now that I've left the Earth. Let me repeat that. Now that I've left the Earth, I think this is my 4th month or 5th attempt at a real journal. I keep losing them. I keep losing them to technology advancements. My first one on a zip drive somewhere. Outliving technology is a very special kind of problem and a very old person's problem. Rich people have rich people problems, while I have developed not dying anytime soon problems. Are you bored yet? I've only read a third of the text on this page. This is just an illustration where Bendis just is writing gobbledygook on top of it. And then, same thing. Just a page of art that doesn't tell anything in the story. And it's... the green text is Thorn and the pink text is Rose. Get it? It's just nonsense. There's nothing here. Nothing is telling... there's no story. It's just Bendis filling space like I am, just filling negative space or dead air. You know, and look, here's another picture of a woman's face and some flower petals. And then I woke up in the Vega system. How about that? I hope I get to stay out here long enough for Thorn to see this too. She took away everything from me. At least she can do is see this. At least she could do is share this with me. I can't believe I had to weasel my ass all the way out here to feel something again. But thank God and Superman and everything in between, I can. I feel this. This is, I live to see this. Amazing. But the purpose thing is still kicking my ass. And this way, and what? Why? Why me? How much farther do I have to go before someone tells me why? Yes, that was 2 pages. Nothing. And speaking of, here's more nothing. It's just a blank page with text on it. For the love of God. This is the big hire of DC. It's going to change DC. Yep, he's changing DC all right. He's changing DC into the company in 2016 that had the most market share, was beating Marvel for the first time, and God knows when. He's changing DC into even worse than Marvel. That's it. And Dan Didio and his idiots are just like, step on the gas, go faster. They can't destroy DC fast enough. And then, are you going to a party? Sorry. Are you speaking to me? Are you going to a party in New Earth? A party? No. Do you get the patterns here? This dialogue means nothing. It does not serve any sort of plot. There is no story. It is literally gibberish just for the sake of Bendis writing gibberish. Just to hear what he believes is witty banter. You know, there's nothing here. You're reading nonsense. And then they show up to Earth and they look. Oh, look. And this was cool. This is the best part of the book, actually. I got to see an artist's vision of what New Earth would look like. I'm not sure exactly what I'm seeing, but guess what? Bendis didn't ruin it with any of his gibberish. There's not a single word balloon or narration to be found. Just letting the art. Please let more of this happen. Nope. Now we see Thorn walking around on the planet. This is madness. It's tradition, Jan. I've never heard of it. You've never heard of tradition? Is that an Earth-only thing? No, I'm saying, how can it be a tradition if we've never done it before? Think of it as a mission. Mission? A dangerous mission that will protect the entire galaxy. And all you have to do is save us all. Did anything happen? We just see Rose walking across the plaza. I mean, it's cool backdrop art. I like the city design. Just a woman walking. This is so boring. Oh, look. Holy shit. Fuck balls. What? Where am I? I'm on page 21 of the second book of 2. Book 2 of 2, page 21. It counts the cover. So it's actually like page 20 or 19 or 20 of the second. Finally, there's the Legion. And look at all these word balloons. Is it telling a story? No. It's just them talking about smile. For how long do we smile? What is going on? Blah, 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 blah. Nothing happening. Bendis does not know how to tell a story. I'm getting convinced by the day. It's just, he just writes nonsense and is so self-impressed with it. Apparently that carries over to the readers who read it and go, oh my gosh, this is so impressive. Bendis is so... There's nothing happening here. You get a cool picture of the Legion, I guess. Turn the page. I'm sorry to interrupt you on such a special day. Hello, Legionnaires. My name is Rose Forrest. So, I have come a very, very long way because I have a great deal to share with you. The end. No, I'm not shitting. That was the end. If you saw my video for the first book and now this was actually worse than the first book, if that was possible. This is a joke. This. If you release this on April 1st, I would be laughing. That would be like, wow, DC, you punked us. You paid for this art. You paid to get this. Is there anyone at DC that has, you know, an upper executive? Bob Harris, you've been editing comics for decades. You're a writer. How are you letting this happen? I mean, I trash Bendis' Superman novels, but at least, I mean, they don't have really any sense of plot, but at least random things kind of happen, and you get to see Superman fly around, and, you know, this is called Legion of Superheroes, and there's 1 2-page spread of the Legion standing for a photo op, and that's it. Out of the whole, this was a rip-off. If anyone who buys the upcoming Legion of Superheroes series, you are part of the problem. I don't mean this to be antagonistic to you. I'm not trying to insult you. But the fact is, you support, if you are giving your money to a company that will do this to you, it's like asking a con artist to scam you. You're just, you know, I got nothing more to say about this book. It's fucking terrible. 1 star, I feel like, is too much to give to this shit. Thank you for putting up with me. Thanks for watching. I'm sorry I put you through this. Hopefully I saved you. What does this book cost? $4.99. Hopefully I saved you some money. See you next time.